So I read this story today about this really pervy wanker guy. I mean, it's just sickest guy in the planet. His name is Theodore Sipnier. Whatever. So he's a 100-year-old guy. He's been in jail several different times because he molests young girls. Mm-hmm. Okay. In fact, the last time he got put in jail was when he was 90 years old. All right, and he had raped a 4-year-old girl. All right. So the judge said, "Look, this is a 90-year-old man. I'm going to sentence him to 10 years in jail," and he lived through the 10 years, and he's free now.
Now, here's the deal, okay?
I think he was in a halfway house, by the way. I don't know if he was in jail.
He was in jail before. So now he went in and out of halfway houses in jail plenty of times because the first time they caught him was when he was 78 years old. And what he does is he plays the grandpa role. Like, oh, hey, how you doing? And he gives money to kids for candy, and then he gives rides to the adults. He earns everybody's trust, and then they have him babysit, and then he rapes your girls. Okay, this is the sickest man in America.
I know.
He raped and sodomized that 4-year-old, and he molested her 7-year-old sister. Okay, so now he has a history of doing this. Now, I know why he got 10 years. It's because he pled guilty. They thought he wouldn't live that long anyway. There he is. Ugh. Okay, and you know, he questioned some of the evidence, and it's not just cut and dry where we think he's guilty, so we get to give him whatever we want. You got to go through the legal system, and he's got lawyers, et cetera, et cetera. Now, having said that, even under all those circumstances, he's got this long history of molestation. Mm-hmm. The last time, it should have been a life sentence, and they shouldn't have plea bargained. They should have done whatever they needed to do to make sure that guy never got out again. Mm-hmm. And now he's out. I mean, can you imagine being in that neighborhood?
I can't imagine, no. And I honestly, is there anything that can be done at this point? I mean, he's free and there's nothing we can do?
Well, at least on the upside, they now tell you when these guys are in your neighborhood. You know, they have those lists, right? Back then, they didn't. Mm-hmm. The last time he did it, when he was 90, okay? Mm-hmm. And so that's why they had no idea who he was. So at least it's a little bit better now. But no, I think overall you can't bring him back. I mean, you got double jeopardy, and he's got constitutional protections, which he should have. Mm-hmm. But they screwed up in the first place.
Yeah, well, the judge says, and she's quoted in this article, she says, I didn't think he was going to live that long.
Now, look, they caught him for the first time when he was 78 years old. But imagine how many times this guy did it before he was 78. Mm-hmm. And one of the people involved in the story, I forget if it was a prosecutor or not, said, I mean, this guy's a monster.
Oh, you know who said that? The guy who actually ran the halfway house that he was staying in. Yeah. All right? The guy, I'll read his quote. His quote was crazy. He says, whether he's 100 or 101 or 105, the same person that was committing these crimes 10, 25, 30 years ago still exists today, and he has an unrepentant heart.
So the guy's never said, hey, you know, I can't believe what I did, etc. And every time he gets out, he does it again right away.
Right.
Oh, God, that's scary stuff, man. I'm telling you, on child molesters, I know it's complicated because of the pleas and the proving it and getting the witnesses, etc. But we have to spend more time and energy and money and resources to make sure after a second offense, definitely a guy like this, third offense, they never get out again. There's got to be a bounds of reason to this thing. Mm-hmm. All right. It's nuts. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Sadly, and I don't want to be this guy, somebody's going to fuck him up really bad. That's all. I'm not advocating it, but if there's a third, I don't know how many victims there have been, but if there's another victim and nobody knows about it, maybe there won't be because, like you said, we have the system now. But if there's another victim and somebody knows and then they hear about the whole history, I don't know, maybe everyone kind of feels sorry for an old man. I do, you know.
I don't, not this guy.
But I mean in general, when you see an old person, you go, oh, you know, old man, you know, he's a good guy, whatever. Because that's why he's able to get in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if that happens again, dude, I mean, and then there's going to be punishment for that person.
Yeah, I know. It drives me crazy. I mean, look, as I read that story, I thought, man, if that was my daughters, I mean, you can't do it, right? I mean, I got to tell you not to do it. But of course, the natural human instinct and the urge is to take the law into your hands and be like, no, you're not getting out in 10 years. And in fact, I don't even care about you serving jail. I mean, you know what? You're done, okay? And I mean, because that guy, I guarantee you, dozens of girls. You know, they caught him the first time when he was 78. Imagine how many countless girls he did that to. Look, man, that makes me bring back old Jenk, conservative Jenk, who's like, execute. But I'm not going to do it. And you obviously should never take the law into your own hands, because it becomes a disaster for your family, too. Because then they catch you, like JR said, and you're sitting in jail for the rest of your life. But for the love of God, put these guys away. All right, let's move forward.
Have you seen all the TYT videos from today? Check out the Young Turks YouTube channel. Do it already.